Hello and welcome to another We Outside edition of It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox. Okay, so basically, I just wanted to make sure that I went over a few boxing topics, and then, of course, I'm going to talk a little bit about George Pickens, a former Steelers wide receiver, and a camp situation involving children. All right, so getting to the first subject. Deontay Wilder is having a fight tomorrow in Wichita, Kansas, and it is going to be on the BLK network. It's pay per view, and then the fight I believe takes place. I would say the card actually takes place around 7 or 8 p.m. is when they'll start televising the pay per view fights, and then the main event will be whenever it is. Now, Deontay Wilder is taking on Tyrell Herndon from San Antonio, Texas, ironically. Um, and then I think that Herndon is best known, unfortunately, for being a Richard Torres victim. He was also a victim of F.A. Ajagba as well. Also a victim via disqualification of Brandon Glanton. Now, the reason that I'm bringing the disqualification up is because with the Richard Torres TKO, there was a mental lapse. Basically, he was taking a lot of punishment. He had already been knocked down twice. And then, for whatever reason, he turned his back when he was taking punishment. And if you turn your back on another fighter trying to retreat, there are referees that will actually just end the fight because if you turn your back, that means that you're unable to continue. So basically, the referee read it that way and he stopped. Now, here's where the disqualification actually comes into play as well with Brandon Glanton. Brandon Glanton, I believe, was actually getting the better of him because the fight wasn't televised, really. The Brandon Glanton was getting the better of Tyrell Herndon. Tyrell Herndon needed a way out, so he just kept fouling until he was disqualified, basically. Now, having said that, because of these mental lapses or history of mental lapses that Herndon may have, this fight may end another way as well. Herndon could do something to get himself disqualified, or Herndon may actually wind up quitting on a stool. Um, my personal belief is I don't think Deontay Wilder gives him a chance to do that. I think Deontay Wilder knocks him out uh, via the patented straight right hand. Now he could actually hit Herndon with a vicious left hook, which is a weapon that's actually slept on from Deontay Wilder, and you have to be very cautious of that as well. As a matter of fact, the left hook in the first Fury fight was the punch that actually knocked Fury down. So, you want to make sure that you're actually wary of that. But yeah, I don't see this fight actually lasting long at all. I think that Herndon is going to be an early victim of Deontay Wilder. To be generous, I'll give it 3 to 4 rounds, but honestly, I don't think that it's actually going to go past round three, to be honest. It, I've heard in reports, and thank you, Pac-Man ATL Tay, or Tay ATL, I'm sorry, for giving us status reports on him, on Deontay Wilder in training camp. And from what I was actually given, the information that I was actually given, Wilder was knocking out sparring partners pretty early on in camp. And he looked very sharp from what the reports say. And I trust Tay to give accurate information. So if he says that's what's going on, that's what's going on. Now, I would love, absolutely love to see Deontay Wilder have an incredible performance and get Herndon out of there as quickly as possible. That may or may not be the reality of what actually happens, but it's definitely something that I would look forward to seeing. Now, in other boxing news, we are in negotiations, and when I'm saying we, Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney are in negotiations for a fight that could possibly take place late November. Now, This particular fight would be a very, very intriguing one because you have a boxer versus a boxer puncher. And the difference, of course, between just a pure boxer is someone who has the ability to actually place punches extremely well, outpoint their opponent, and then get the victory that way. With a boxer puncher, it's pretty much the same concept. You have well placed punches, but with a boxer puncher, he has a puncher's chance of actually getting his opponent out of there, which makes this matchup, or a potential matchup rather, very, very intriguing. So I would love for the paperwork or contract disputes or whatever the case may be to be worked out, and then we get this particular fight. I would love to be able to analyze this fight, be able to break it down, and just kind of possibly predict the winner, things of that nature. So I would look forward to seeing that matchup if and when it happens. Now, in other news, things are slow on the Pittsburgh Steelers side, obviously. So people have run out of things to actually talk about. Yes, there was an Aaron Rodgers interview on the Pat McAfee show where Aaron has mentioned that this is going to be his last year, and that he would love some privacy, um, which I think is pretty ironic, because you're on a show that's broadcasted all over the world every every other Tuesday or whatnot, and you're wanting privacy. Um, and I just don't get it. Anyway, to respect the man's wishes, and what I will say is this: he does have the right, and his wife definitely has the right to have privacy. Okay, I think that it is very wrong that people are actually looking up this man's address and putting it all over the internet, showing the inside of his home, things of that nature. That is totally unnecessary. Okay, don't get me wrong. I still believe that Aaron Rodgers could be a team detonation device, and I'm still standing firm on boycotting the season. Boycotting the season for me means that I cannot watch any football games and I cannot buy any merchandise that season. If they wind up going to the Super Bowl for whatever reason, um, then what I have to do is make a public apology, and then, of course, just kind of rescind my boycott, and then just move on. The Super Bowl is too public to avoid. It's not going to be a situation where I could just be like, oh well, I'll skip it or find something else to do or something of that nature. We'll just have to see. But even if there is a successful season to where he does not disrupt the team, and he doesn't necessarily have to like go to the Super Bowl or win a playoff game to do that. If he doesn't make any waves with the team, if he doesn't cause any controversy, things of that nature, I am more than happy to come on here, publicly apologize, and admit that I was completely wrong about this. I have no problem doing it at all. Um, but what I will say, of course, is given this man's history, and don't forget, the departure from Green Bay was not a very pleasant one, and then the him actually leaving the Jets wasn't also great either. So, of course, there's that. And then given this man's history, I'm not so sure. So, we'll just have to wait and see on that particular issue. But, good luck to my Pittsburgh Steelers, and hopefully Aaron Rodgers doesn't sink the ship. In other Steelers news, or former Steelers news, we have George Pickens. George Pickens is electing to actually work with his new quarterback, Dak Prescott, and he is foregoing a football camp for kids in Pittsburgh. There's a simple outlook for this. If you just got fired from a job, would you go back to the place that you got fired from to do volunteer work? No. So why are we making a big deal out of this? Pittsburgh obviously showed that we don't have any interest in George Pickens, and we both need to pretty much move on. Having said that, I don't think this is a big deal. I'm sorry that the kids are actually let down because of it, but this is not a big deal at all. Um, and it's not even newsworthy. Okay, so wrapping this up, I just want to recommend you all check out my brothers from the LDBC, Cadillac Red, who has his show, BSing on the Beltway, usually comes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and occasionally Fridays. And then you have the Southern Baller Show for my brothers, Jared or 11 Green, Coach 67 Sports TV. Then you have a Black Man's Perspective, same group of brothers, Jared or 11 Green, Coach 67 Sports TV as well. That usually comes on Saturdays, I think 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. The Southern Baller Show comes on 3:30 p.m. Sundays, Central Standard Time as well. And of course, please, y'all make sure that y'all subscribe and hit the like button for my brothers. I certainly appreciate y'all. And then this is another We Outside edition of It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox. And I'll holla at you.